said, take your time. What's the rush? I'm gonna. What's the rush? I said, baby, I'm a dog. Hmm. All right, I gotta do it. That boy said it's been a minute. I ain't had it. You could break my heart if you want to. Damn. What's wrong with him? Okay, where is go here? Sony acquires WB Games report. Really?
I wouldn't have lasted this long in the entertainment industry if I hadn't taken a few risks. But I'm also a realist because I've seen it all. Gold gives you everything the stock market can't: a hedge against inflation, a protection against economic crashes, and the best way to protect your family and their interests. Gold is the only true global currency.
Tim, put on a shirt.
Hey, you want to golf this week?
What?
Do you want to golf this week?
Huh?
You want to golf this week?
Yeah.
Live stream it. Danny, live stream it. Dude, Tim has a setup.
Live
Okay?
stream it.
I don't know how to do it.
Fuck off.
Live stream it, bro.
Live stream it. Damn, some people should just blow.
That's they're not east because it's Moreland, but they still claim the three, don't they?
Yeah, that east side.
The east, but I don't think Thomasville Four Seasons say the east side though.
You Thomasville? Yeah?
I stayed in Thomasville Project.
You Four Seasons?
I ain't staying in Four Seasons. I stayed in
I'm
Thomasville.
finna say that boy Crip.
Lim 86 here in
That
Thomas
boy
Drive,
gangbang.
apartment 169, right by the creek.
That boy gangbang.
Ganger. I ain't gonna keep it down though. I ain't gonna keep it down. If I were to choose, I want to be a crook though, cause they so smooth. They
Why
say,
everybody be saying that?
cause they so they laid back. You know, blood nigga wanna fight all
Yeah,
day.
they were kiss man.
Blood nigga wanna fight. They so they ruthless.
Uh-huh.
No crook nigga, they be on some goddamn, you know, they be on some hey pad the blunt, man. They be on some pad the blunt shit, bro.
They also
I ain't
pad the
trying-
blood
pad the
shit.
blunt shit. I ain't trying to fight a nigga every goddamn. I ain't trying to fight every damn day, so I just want to have something I call family.
Man, I bagged out, man. Nigga told me they gotta jump me in. I was like, hell no, I thought y'all was blessing niggas in. Hold on, man. I joined y'all so I wouldn't get my ass whooped. You mean tell me first thing gonna happen, I'm gonna get my ass whooped? Oh no. Gang, you seen me fight the other day, nigga. We was in you know how I do this shit.
Alexa Warner, thanks for the follow.
Come on now.
Hey, ain't no boy be punching hard as hell.
Man, the boy really be trying to knock you the fuck out.
I seen a nigga punch a nigga like
Bro, that shit just hella loud, bro.
I seen a nigga hit a nigga
Man,
top of the head like this.
I seen nigga get jumped in when I was locked up, and this nigga beat up all three of them niggas. I might well gonna sick him real quick.
Why did they do that?
Y'all might well gonna sick King Twin right, man.
That boy beat up the whole goddamn drunk.
Oh, that boy gonna beat something.
It's going good, bro.
Right side.
Just chilling before I have to go to work later tonight. But other than that, it's going good. How you doing?
Oh, touchdown. Come on, man. This boy light work. Big, what we doing, baby? Got another body. Young nigga, move that dope. They move that dope. But that boy now saying you can't talk to me
Man,
respectfully.
that boy now say, part of say, look, bro, you can't talk to me respectfully. I'm finna quit this motherfucker.
I already knew how to get him done over here.
And he said, I don't get no fuck.
I'm telling you, bro.
And he now said, man, I'm finna quit this
I know how
motherfucker.
to get to that nigga, man.
Where the hell you from, man?
I'm from Adamville. Really, I done stayed all around a bit, bro. I done stayed on Simpson. I done stayed in Cobb, nigga. I went to South Cobb for like 3 months. Got kicked out for selling weed and shit. I done stayed in Hateville. Oh, come here. Oh, he easy money.
Oh,
He-
man, the West, definitely the West.
Easy money. Hey, okay, where is the Nintendo? Was it a Nintendo Donkey Kong? This right here. This is what I wanted to watch right here. Ooh, snap. We're gonna pause the music for right now.
When the world felt so cruel and bleak, when the whole looked so dark
How loud
and
is this shit? This shit too loud.
deep, heart is rock, cold as stone. I was scared, alone. Then your beat showed the way to
Is this shit too loud? A little bit. What is that? 64. Donkey Kong had a baby?
Golden Bananas, the discovery of the century, made right here on Ingot Isle.
So-
This is excellent news for #1 banana fan, Donkey Kong. However,
Donkey Kong.
just as he's about to enjoy the notable bananas, a sudden tempest sends him deep down underground. As his adventure begins, DK teams up with Odd Rock, but it's no rock at all. It's actually a talented young singer named
About
Pauline.
5-6 years now, I think. I just had
Now,
my
Donkey Kong just wants bananas. And
1
Pauline
year
wants to find a
anniversary
way
for
back
Twitch
home to the
affiliate.
surface. It's said that one's wish will be granted by reaching the planet core. So the unlikely duo set off on a strange subterranean adventure. The story takes place in the underground world, where the scenery changes the deeper you go.
Oh, that's sweet.
Some layers are so spectacular that it's hard to believe you're underground. DK can run,
Hey, what about the little girl on his back?
and climb through each environment. Using his incredible physical prowess, you can freely move in any direction.
Oh,
But that's
nice.
not all. Almost anything in your path, you can smash,
How is he spinning with her on top, bruh? Like, they be putting physics in a game that don't be making no sense, bruh.
crash,
Ketchup? I mean, jelly on hot dogs?
bash.
You high.
You can even do this to a massive rock formation. You know, if you want. As you barrel through obstacles in your path, you'll also collect golden bananas known as Banandium gems. More on those later. Let's take a look at some of the things this
Oh,
car
it looked like
can
he
do.
cuddled her
Punch,
and spin.
smash enemies, walls, the ground.
Oh,
and
look like I
most
gotta get a
things you can
Switch
get your hands
too,
on
man.
With incredible force, destruction,
They got a new
and
Donkey Kong
lead to
game coming out.
discoveries. So set off a chain reaction.
And it's
See
open
what
world.
happens. Dive punch.
It's like multiple
Unleash a
layers. They said
powerful punch directly downward. How
the
deep
further you go
punch into the
down
ground depends
in
on
the ground,
strength of the terrain.
the different world it changed.
Roll forward.
Yeah.
Roll at high speed and send lighter objects soaring. Combine this with punches and jumps to really mix things up. Hand slap. Make some noise to collect scattered items.
Gotta have
Detect
hand
hidden
slap.
objects using sonar. You can even use your feet when your hands are occupied.
Haha.
Tear off. Grab a chunk of terrain and tear it off. Or tear up turnips to find items.
Turn up.
And even tear chunks off your foes.
Whoa.
Swing. Grab a chunk and swing it to attack. Harder chunks can be used to break stone with ease. Or smash spiky thorns. Chunk
That's cool.
jump. Use a chunk to double jump. This will help you reach new heights. Throw. Throw a chunk. Or aim at a target like this. Throwing a boom rock or gold can have explosive effects. If you throw chunks made of softer material, you can stick them to a surface and pile them up.
Oh, that's dope.
Serve. This lets you ride on chunks.
That's cool. That's cool.
Speed up and aim for smaller enemies to knock them away.
You got a Discord? If you got a Discord, I'll check your workout.
The power of Paul
I don't
Lee's
need
singing
nothing right
will
now.
help show
I
you
normally
the way.
do it myself, but if I come up,
It
if I
can
could
also remove
see
these
your work, I
stray
might have you
seeds that
design something for me.
someone left behind.
I took graphic design
You
in
never
high
know
school,
what you'll discover in the underground world.
and I dib and dab in it, so I really don't be needing nobody to do it for me, but only if I'm feeling lazy, then I'll have somebody do it.
DK's abilities.
Like I was on Fiverr and had them create my my logo. I don't have it on the screen though, but I do have a gaming logo.
The many layers of the underground world are host to a variety of inhabitants. Some are mysterious, not too bothered by DK's destructive tendencies. It looks like Cranky Kong and his companion Ramby are also venturing
Ramby.
through the layers of the world. Then there are the Giant Elders, who call the underground world home. They're said to possess ancient bonanza powers.
You have to fight them.
By learning their bonanza powers, Pauline's singing can do something special. She can make Donkey Kong transform.
Called
With
Banana.
incredible destructive power, even hard terrain poses no problem. Plow through the world and smash as much as possible with the powerful Kong Bonanza. Plus,
Kong
DK can
Bonanza.
transform into a zebra. He's as speedy as he is striped.
Oh, so he could
can
turn
even
into
breathe
basically
over
into the
water
elders.
or crumbling pathways.
Okay,
That's
nothing
the
follow
Swift
him.
Zebra Bonanza. Oh yeah, he can also turn into an ostrich, a flying ostrich. Spread your wings and soar through the sky.
You see the time limit though of how long you can stay in the air.
You can use updrafts to gain more air. Then drop egg bombs from great heights to send enemies scattering.
Oh,
That's right, it's Ostrich Bonanza! Bonanza transformations don't last forever though. You can transform again by collecting gold to build up your Bonanergy. You're not limited to when or where you transform, and you can swap between transformations.
Hold on.
So get creative and use them as you adventure to the planet core. Standing in our hero's way is the Void Company, the mightiest mining operation both above ground and below. Grumpy Kong works to create gigantic corporate soldiers. Poppy Kong is responsible for subterranean
Kong.
info gathering.
What am I going
Void
to?
Kong is in charge of the whole company. This nefarious crew is responsible for the banana-stealing maelstrom on Ingot Isle, and they're heading straight down to the planet core.
Oh shit. I am on this side, okay.
Planet core? But no! I'm going with DK, so you just stay away!
Voidco blocked off all the routes to the lower layers, so no one could reach them. DK and his pals will come face to face with the enemies guarding these routes. So use all the power at your disposal to take on a host of powerful foes.
The elders can't help?
By defeating them,
Banana.
giant sinkholes will open, clearing a path to the lower layers of the underground world.
Surf Hill.
Found throughout the underground world are golden bananas called Banandium gems.
Banandium gems.
They're not always visible though. Sometimes they're buried in the walls, the ground, and other places. There are a whole bunch to find. You can also obtain these gems by completing challenges in the ruins found throughout your adventure.
Let's do this!
They
Challenges
basically
include
gave Donkey
time-limited
Kong
battles,
a Mario World like game.
courses where you'll need clever solutions, side-scrolling stages, and more.
A classic.
Keep your eyes peeled to find the Banandium gems. There are plenty of ruins to discover, so give them a try.
That copper? I mean not copper, fucking coal. That lava or gold? Banana.
As you collect Banandium gems, you'll gain skill points. These can be used to increase stats such as your max health or the destructive power of your punches. Power up Donkey Kong to match your playstyle. For example, if you strengthen your sonar, you'll be able to detect treasure from further away, which could lead to new discoveries. Or use skill points to learn new skills.
Surf surf.
There are all sorts of items to find as you explore.
Surf surf.
Banandium chips are shaped like slices of banana, and they can be traded for Banandium gems at the chip exchange. These gold nuggets are, unsurprisingly, called gold. You can exchange gold for useful items at the stuff shop.
Stuff shop.
There are fossils too. You can trade these for different fashions at local style shops. Just open the closet and customize the perfect fits for Donkey Kong and Pauline.
Pauline.
Or even change up your fur color. No look is too much for Donkey Kong, or too little. Almost every article of clothing comes with its own benefits, so mix and match your look to suit the situation. If you find a treasure chest buried in the ground, crack it open, and you might receive a treasure map showing the location of Banandium gems or fossils. Their
cool.
locations will be marked on your map. Pretty helpful for finding collectibles. You can also see which fossils and Banandium gems you've collected, making it easy to see how close you are to completion. There's plenty more to do in the underground world when not adventuring. Need a rest? Carve out a space and enjoy a getaway where you can recover in bed. And enjoy listening to tunes with the music player. You might even find new discs when defeating enemies. When it comes to moving between layers, subterranean eels have your back. These
Donkey Kong
elevators
is
will
here.
help you easily move between layers you visited at any time. And if you get lost, no need to worry. You can always teleport within the layer you're currently exploring.
Underscore HEAD. Send friend requests.
In photo mode, you can freely change the
Skip for
in-game
now.
camera angle and adjust other settings to snap pics.
I signed it.
Get a photo like this or that. Unleash your inner shutterbug and create your own captivating scenes. By sharing a Joy-Con 2 controller or using a second set, you and a pal
Donkey
can
Kong
control
controller.
Donkey Kong and Pauline separately to buddy up in local co-op play. As Pauline, you can unleash vocal blasts using Joy-Con 2 mouse controls. You can also copy the material of nearby terrain to give your vocals even more texture. By working together, even tough enemies don't stand a chance.
Oh, that's dope. Hey, ain't gonna lie, you and Jordan will have fun with this.
This game also supports Game Share. Even if only one player has the game, they can quickly share.
You could, so you could control Donkey Kong, and he got like a little pal called Paulina, and she could use the Joy-Con to control her, but like all she could do is just like scream, and it like help you when you battling and stuff. That's dope.
To another player so they can join on their own system. It can also be shared locally to a Nintendo Switch system. Plus, you can play online between Nintendo Switch 2 systems using Game Share via Game Chat.
Oh, that's dope.
If you need a little help with all the platforming action, Assist Mode is the way to play. It guides you in the right direction,
With music notes.
halves the damage you receive, and more. Assist Mode supports you in your adventure to be
Whoa.
the best Kong you can be. Outside of the main game, there's a mode where you can carve stone using mouse controls called DK Artist. Rotate to paint. Carve material. Or add some back on. You can even change the lighting and add delectable banana effects.
That's dope, bruh.
Give it a try and sculpt to your heart's content.
Bruh. Somebody gonna make a penis watch.
This game also supports amiibo accessories. A new Donkey Kong and Pauline amiibo figure is also on the way. Scanning it unlocks Pauline's Diva
Damn, I
dress.
used to have hella amiibos too.
By scanning the Donkey Kong series amiibo shown here, gold Kong tiles with explosive power will appear. Every other amiibo released up to this point is also compatible.
What they do?
If you scan them, you'll get giant spheres like these.
Look at us, CK. I love to sing more than anything. I have this dream. Maybe if we get to the surface, you and me, we can make it more than a dream.
Ooh, they gonna start a band.
Join the powerful Donkey Kong and the talented singer Pauline as they set out on an adventure to the fabled planet Core.
My own special power?
I wonder if they gonna in the future give her own game. She's Donkey Kong's princess.
Donkey Kong Bonanza. Available
Bonanza.
July 17th only on Nintendo Switch 2. Pre-orders are available now on Nintendo eShop. The Donkey Kong and Pauline amiibo will also be available July 17th.
Dropping. They dropping them gems. That was dope. Let's follow Nintendo. Let's follow Nintendo. About every Nintendo Switch 2 launch game. Huh.
This is Pod 5, the first fully immersive sleep system.
Pod 5.
So I bought every single Nintendo Switch 2 launch game. And I mean every single physical game that you'll find on the shelf, game key cards and all. I don't think I would ever have bought every launch game if it wasn't for A, being a YouTuber, and B, having a serious problem. I've spent the last week or so playing pretty much all of these as much as I can. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, I haven't finished so much an in-depth review of each of these games, but how each one performs and runs on the Switch, and then a little bit about the game and why maybe you should buy it if it sounds interesting to you. Also, if you are new here, this eye isn't usually ballooned up like this. I have a sty that I get whenever I'm overly tired and stressed because I'm rubbing my eye all the time. Why am I tired and stressed, you might be asking? Well, I've already mentioned my new son once, and also the Switch 2 just came out, and I'm making a lot of videos, so subscribe. First up is Yakuza 0, and it's first not only because it's one of the more impressive ports of a game to this console, both technically and also content-wise, but because they're sponsoring the video. Yeah, that kind of worked out perfectly. You might have heard this leading up to Switch 2 launch, but yeah, Yakuza 0 was being used as one of the bars for how great Switch 2 was looking because it was actually performing and running and resolutioning better than the PlayStation 4 Pro version. Because docked, you're hitting that actual 4K at 60 FPS. It even has updated textures with a higher resolution than before. And in handheld mode, it does drop down to 1080p 720, but you're still getting that 60 FPS. And I absolutely love Yakuza games. Yakuza 0 is also canonically the first game, so if you've never played a Yakuza, this is actually the best place to start
Never
day
played one
on Switch 2, which is perfect. So Yakuza 0 is one of the best Switch 2 launch games because it adds 25 extra minutes of new cutscenes, a new online multiplayer mode, and an English dub added for the first time. Yeah, I kid you not. If you're a fan of this series or even this game, there is so much extra content in the Switch 2 release, and I love when developers actually work on adding content to a Switch port rather than just throwing the game on the console. The combat is what this series is known for, as it's absolutely visceral fun, and it has seemingly endless side missions and experiences. And this is because the full title of the game is Yakuza 0 Director's Cut. I can't gas it up enough, and it's not just because they're sponsoring. I love Yakuza games. They are so wildly popular for a reason, and I just love that this Switch 2 version has extra content and runs better than it does on the PlayStation 4 Pro. So if you want to check out the game, and you really should, I'll leave links down below. Click on that and go check out Yakuza 0
I don't know why I thought he said
on
the first
Nintendo
time.
Switch 2. You can get it on the eShop or in stores like I did. Thank you, Yakuza, for
PlayStation
sponsoring.
5
We'll
Pro.
We should definitely
Said the
talk
PS4
about Mario
Pro,
Kart
bro.
World next. And I will keep it brief because I've already made a whole video on my channel talking about this game, and you can go and watch that. But if it's your first time here, this is obviously one of the best performing games on the console because Nintendo made it themselves. In fact, they wanted to make this Mario Kart on the last Switch, but the Switch 1 couldn't handle it, so they had to wait to launch it with Switch 2. The reason why the Switch 1 couldn't handle it, this bad boy has 4K visuals, 60 FPS, and in handheld mode, it's 1080p and 60 FPS. You really couldn't ask for any better other than maybe 120 FPS, which this doesn't do, even though someone at the Nintendo New York Experience told me that it does. And I thought that it did because of that, and they apparently were just wrong. But my friend Bob did some testing on the frame rate, and he said there's a weird smoothing effect that happens when you're playing in handheld mode that actually makes it look like it's running faster than 60 FPS, even though it's not. This game does some magic wizardry and just looks phenomenal. It is still so weird to me to load up a Nintendo-made game running on Nintendo hardware and even just see the cuts in high fidelity, clean visuals, light glistening off of the tailpipes. Like, it's just not what I'm used to with Nintendo. It really does feel like their version of next gen, and I love it. While it obviously has the traditional Grand Prix mode, you can also just go explore all of those tracks in the big open world that they're all sat in. in. That's the big draw to this one, as well as the new knockout mode, which comes in because it's an open world with all the courses connected. Now you have to try and beat other people to checkpoints and not be at the back of the pack, or else you'll get knocked out of the run early. The best way I can equate it is almost like a Fortnite Battle Royale version of Mario Kart. This is the flagship launch game.
But it was a
if you're
game
looking
that
at getting
did
the Switch,
that.
chances are it comes with the console in the bundle, and if it doesn't, you're probably gonna want to get it. But get it in the bundle because it's not $80 in the bundle. Nintendo's other published games on the console, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Obviously, these games came out on Switch 1, and if you've already bought them, you can upgrade to these new versions on the Switch 2 for just $10 without having to buy them again, like I clearly did. Or if you pay for the most expensive expansion pack, Nintendo Switch Online, which also gives you access to GameCube games and a bunch of other rewards, you'll get these expansion packs for free in that. So yeah, you really don't have to go out and buy these unless you don't already have them, or, as I said earlier, unless you have some kind of problem. So no matter how you play these games, handheld or docked, you're going to get 60 FPS, which is incredible playing these games in such a high frame rate. And then docked, you're going to get upscaled 4K, I believe at 1440p. And then in handheld mode, it's going to have native 1080p. These games utilize 120 Hz support, HDR, as well as variable refresh rates. So it's doing a lot of magic to make these games look and play so well. And as someone who, and don't tell Nintendo, not like they already don't know, has emulated these games before in 4K and 60 frames, this is a much better way of doing that. It's also nice just to play the official games on the official hardware. I mean, you even get connectivity with mobile phones and the Nintendo app now, so that you can do things like have an in-game GPS or even send items to friends or hear voice notes around the world. There's a ton of extra features using the mobile app. Now, for some reason, leading up to launch, a lot of people like to compare the Switch 1 to Switch 2 versions.
I thought Red Dead would have did that.
Oh, look at this generational
because they had the
upgrade
companion
from Nintendo.
app
That's not
for
really
the
how
map.
that works. You can't just take an older game and throw it on better hardware and expect it to look different. It's still the same game. It's just gonna run better and have better resolutions. That's exactly what we're seeing here, and it's a huge upgrade. Before we go down Game Key Alley, let's take out one game that did not utilize a game key and instead is an actual cartridge, which I've taken out of here, so you'll have to believe me. But also, they even have a little pamphlet manual instruction booklet in here, which I am a huge fan of. So even though this isn't a game key card release, it did actually take 20 minutes to install the game over Wi-Fi, which I thought was weird at first, and then I learned that the cartridge that comes in here is actually the Switch 1 version of the game on a red cart that proxies the Switch 2 upgrade just when you stick it into your console. It just does it automatically and it upgrades to it. Now, you might be thinking that's weird, but it's actually kind of cool, because it means if you take this Switch 2 red cart and put it in your Switch 1,
it'll work.
It works. So this is yet another 60 FPS game in both handheld and docked. The Switch 1 version is only 30 FPS and a very low resolution, and that Switch 2 version really does feel like we've just upgraded to a PlayStation 4 Pro or Xbox Series S, and suddenly everything is clean, crisp, and so much better. So this game is the next mainline entry in the Rune Factory series, and it takes a farming sim and an action RPG gameplay and even a narrative-driven post-apocalyptic setting and just kind of smashes it all together. You can kind of think of this game as like Stardew Valley meets Breath of the Wild.
This is what Ivy League universities you can get into with a 3.6 GPA.
He said Stardew Valley meets
4.0 plus GPAs get rejected.
Kind of. Okay, we got to get into some of these game key carts now, starting with Street Fighter 6. So from what I've experienced in the arcade fighter mode, I had no problems, baby. This game looked phenomenal, and it runs at a very steady 60 FPS. And I don't think people appreciate what we came from to what we have. The Switch 1 launched with Street Fighter 2 Remix, the Super Nintendo version. This one's launching with Street Fighter 6 in 60 FPS. I mean, the Switch 1 couldn't even handle the last Mortal Kombat. Everything about this console is feeling like such a huge, obvious upgrade. So messing around with this arcade mode and 1v1 fights is super fun and runs really well. It's the hub world story mode mode where you actually take control of characters and walk around and meet other characters. That mode, for some reason, runs at 30 FPS. It chugs a little more, and visually it's not as appealing. I'm not really sure why these two modes feel so separated. I suppose one's easier to handle than the other, but I still think the Switch 2 should be able to
Probably
handle both,
because of
so
the
I'm not really sure what happened
online.
here. Besides the point, though, you might have gathered that this fighter is more than just
Trying to
a
render
traditional
everybody.
fighter. It has a whole single-player mode that you can dive into with a story, and actually a ton of other modes as well. If you're new to fighters or you haven't played many, I gotta say Street Fighter is probably my favorite traditional fighting game. One of the launch games that I have to talk about, because it's a launch game, is Hogwarts Legacy. Now, there's a lot of controversy around this game, and I don't usually love talking about it or exposing it too much, but unfortunately, it is a prime example of how good the Switch 2 is, because we have a direct comparison with the Switch 1 version that only just released last year. That while it was a technical marvel that it was even on the console, and shout out to whoever had to port that, it was ugly, and it ran at like 20 FPS, and they had to do weird fixes to it to make it even work on the console, like separate the open world into load screens. But thankfully, that's one of the first things that has been completely removed and unrestricted in this Switch 2 version, as well as a huge boost in quality. As I said, the Switch 1 version could barely hit 20 FPS. Here, we're at a much more rock-steady 30 FPS, and visually, the whole game is just reinvented. It is the most stark side-by-side comparison I think we have. It really truly is a whole new game. At first, it didn't look like we were getting any kind of upgrade path, but there is one. If you already have the first one and you want to upgrade to this new one, you can. And funny enough, if you don't want to, Switch Up ran some tests of the Switch 1 version, just brute forcing it on the Switch 2 with no upgrade, and it actually fixes the frame rates to back to 30, but the game is still butt ugly, so I would not recommend that. Keen observers might have noticed there is actually one game missing from my physical collection, and while I have ordered it from GameStop, Bravely Default Flying Fairy HD doesn't arrive until the weekend, and I wanted to film this video already. So this is the one game I personally haven't tried yet, but I will have tried it before this video comes out, and if anything I say is off base, I'll make an edit. I'm just gonna go by what I've seen online and what other people are saying about this one. It's also a game keycard game. This game is a HD remaster of a 3DS game, so the side-by-side comparisons are fairly obvious. And with this game being such a cult classic and one of the most beloved JRPGs of all time, it's pretty safe to say that this new enhanced visual and performing version is well overdue and also very welcomed. It's locked at 60 FPS now. It has a wider aspect ratio, enhanced visuals. As I said, this is one of the most highest rated JRPGs of all time, and I think it's really an underlooked gem on this launch cycle because the remaster is new. This is a new game for the Switch 2 launch, but this is a special release that it gives players something different on launch day, a little bit of nostalgia and a little bit of new. I love that the Switch 1 released with Puyo Puyo Tetris and the Switch 2 released with Puyo Puyo Tetris 2. I don't love that it's another game key card. Guys, it's Puyo Puyo Tetris 2. It's a puzzle game. If you play Tetris, you know that whole side of it, but they mash it with another puzzle game called Puyo Puyo. It's an enhanced sequel built for the Switch 2, bringing back the chaotic fun of Puyo Puyo and Tetris with sharper visuals, faster load times, and brand new gameplay modes. It's a puzzle game. You see it. You get it.
Are you feeling stuck with $10,000 or more in debt and all the interest that comes with it? Try National Debt Relief, as seen on the Wall Street Journal podcast.
I didn't even know how I was going to buy food for my kids. I felt immediate relief.
I had over $36,000 in debt.
What do your debt got to do with you buying groceries for your kids? Like if you got a job, your job ain't, your money ain't going straight to your debt.
Specializes in helping people who are struggling with $10,000 or more in credit card.
Hitman is a special one, and it's a game key card. I'm sick of saying that, but it is a special release on the Switch.
Stop saying it. You already said you fit to go through game key
that was
cards.
on Switch 1 via the cloud service that actually has a well, I don't want to say physical, but an actual non-streaming online release. Not only does this have that Hitman 3 cloud-based game, but not cloud-based anymore, it also has Hitman 1 and 2. Docked, you're getting 1080p with unlocked frame rates bouncing between 30 to 60 FPS. Handheld, you're getting 720 with unlocked frame rates between 30 to 50 FPS. And you might be thinking that seems a little lower than
we gotta do something with all that
energy
you about to get.
I mean, Hitman is a fairly demanding game visually, but I think one of the biggest things that bogs it down is it's known for having insane, giant, dense crowds of people. That's kind of one of the coolest niches of the game, is that you're playing this stealth game and there can be up to 100 other NPCs on the screen at any time, which is pretty taxing on hardware, especially something like the Switch. But regardless of the resolution, you have those high dense crowds, you have high frame rates, and you have really clean visuals that are actually really impressive to see. I mean, we're seeing real-time shadows here, reflections, lighting effects, higher quality textures, things that you would typically get stripped out of Switch ports. They're now here. It is a really pretty game on the Switch 2. I do feel like, considering I've seen games like Cyberpunk and what they can do when they're fully optimized for the console, this does feel more...
I wonder if they just doing key cards because it's not really, it's being streamed via cloud, and they want you to think that it's not, but it actually is, and that's why these games could run smoothly on the Switch too.
Like a port that was just drag and dropped onto the system, and they're just allowing the Switch 2's new raw power to just brute force its way through.
Not bad with the AirPods in, huh?
It's not super well optimized. I think they could have pushed it further, but the Switch 2 is getting this game to look and run really good, so I guess I can't complain. There isn't any new content here that I could find other than a DLC code that comes in the box for a Mario and Luigi themed outfit, and I accidentally leaked these codes in my last video before I got a chance to use them. So whoever beat me to that, I hope you're enjoying them. If you're sick of hearing me talk about game key cards on each one of these, don't worry. I got something even worse for you. I love Split Fiction. I love the game. I love the developers. That whole dev team is dedicated to making fun and unique co-op experiences, and I'm absolutely here for that. However, you know what's different from this box to any of the game key card boxes? Yeah, that's right. This one doesn't say game key card. So I didn't think it had a game key card, and it doesn't. What it does have is a download code in the box. It doesn't have a cartridge at all. Nothing. It's a code. It's a code. Two things here. One, you might be thinking, what? But there is that white. But yeah, I wasn't looking for that because I was looking for that. And second, why would they do this when a game key card is essentially the same thing? A bit of plastic. Just get the game key card. That's the whole point. Well, besides that, I have played it, and it's really impressive when you compare this game to PlayStation 5, for example. Really, again, showing off what the Switch 2 can do, and even this game is fairly new. This game only came out in the last year. It's up for Game of the Year this year. I do feel like this is possibly another Hitman situation, though, where they just kind of drag and drop to the game on the console because there's no extra content. It doesn't feel super optimized. It's only running at 1080p 30 FPS, and I do feel like this game could push a little more than that. Another telling sign is that the download is 75 gigs, meaning it's a bigger download than most of the games we're looking at today. That's a telltale sign that the game isn't really been optimized for the console. But regardless, it is still an extremely fun game. You play as a fiction writer and a fact writer who go to work. Still an extremely...
Why did he wait till they get up there to knock it off? Like, that's... God, game physics in the gate.
Fun game. You play as a fiction writer and a fact writer who go to work at this company to essentially sell their stories. And this company has this weird device where you can plug in, you can jack into the Matrix and actually live the stories that you write. But they end up getting mixed into the same jacked in, and they start bouncing between a broken system of just both their stories flip-flopping from one side to another. You never know what to expect, and it's a wild, fun ride.
Bro, I'm literally lagging. That's what Carl would say before he switched to Easy Fiber.
Easy Fiber.
Switching.
Right. Who would have guessed it? You gotta go fast into another game key card. I said I wouldn't talk about it, but then I felt obligated to mention it every time. Sonic and Shadow Generations. This is the only game that was on Switch 1 that now has a Switch 2 version that has absolutely no upgrade path. Meaning you just have to buy the whole game again, even if you literally just bought it on Switch 1, as this game is not that old. That is extremely disappointing, and I'm not sure why they did that. However, it's a very impressive port of the game. So the Sonic Generations part of it, which is an older game at this point, it's locked at 60 FPS and has 1080p, while the Shadow campaign, that's the new content, which, by the way, on Xbox One and PlayStation 4, the Shadow portion of this game could not be played at 30 FPS. You had to go to PlayStation 5 to get the performance and quality settings to actually hit 60. And guess what? On Switch 2, you of course have performance and quality settings, and the performance is of course 60 FPS. It looks fantastic in handheld mode. The load times are on par with the PlayStation 5 in Sonic Generations, and for Shadows Generations, not only are we getting the faster frame rates, but the load times are twice as fast as PlayStation 4 and Xbox. And if you haven't played these games, by the way, a lot of people, including me, consider Sonic Generations to be the last really good Sonic game. I would have nothing but good things to say about this if it wasn't for the no upgrade path thing really putting a damper on it. And finally, I mean it when I say I saved the best till last. While I have a storied history with Cyberpunk, and this is not in any way a review of the whole game, I want to play this start to finish. I want to juice it. I want to see everything they've changed and upgraded from the base game since I played it back all those years ago. I'm working on that. But this is a pretty heavy endorsement of the work they put into this Switch 2 port specifically, because by golly, it impresses me. To start with, you will notice this is a full art box, meaning it is not a game key card. Cyberpunk splurged on the full 64 gigabyte red cartridge from Nintendo, meaning the whole game is on the cartridge, which is a very rare thing to see these days across discs or cartridges for video games. Next, they actually added content on the inside of the case with a sticker pack and a pamphlet. That's more brownie points for me. Next, it contains all of the Phantom Liberty DLC, which notoriously was not even in the PlayStation 4 version because that console couldn't even handle it. Next, they worked so closely with the Switch and Nintendo leading up to launch. They have completely reinvented the control scheme, so you have traditional controls, you also have full mouse support, and even intuitive, weird and wacky Nintendo Wiimote motion controls. Everything down from having to reload your gun by twisting your wrist or to heal yourself by flicking up your left hand. I would still rather sit there with a controller, but I can't lie to you, as soon as I turn on those motion controls and the pinpoint aiming and all of that, I am blasting through the levels and the gunfights with such ease, and I'm landing so many more of my shots. It's just not my preferred way, but wow, if they didn't really make this work. The last thing that impresses me is obviously just the way the game looks on the console. It was one of the first things I wanted to show Kim, like an excited boy on Christmas. I booted up the game and I was like, Kim, look at this. And even she couldn't believe it. So you gotta remember, this game is very intensive.
Sweet, bro.
With most of my powerful handheld PCs not being able to run this game above 20 FPS. So you have performance and quality modes. Performance mode is gonna give you 40 FPS, whether you're on handheld or TV, and quality is going to give you
I think
30
my
FPS,
PC actually runs it at 60 FPS or higher. I don't know.
Mode's going to dip you down from 720, while quality mode's going to keep you at that full resolution 1080. And docked, weirdly, they're both 1080. So I think in quality mode, what it's doing is it's working on AI upscaling and making the resolution more consistent, while also just improving the overall visual quality and all of the textures and everything else that's happening around the world to make it look nice. There's a lot of conjecture on how
I think I
this
might
game
hop back
actually
in this
runs
too,
and what the native
just so I could
resolution
play
actually
something. Cause I'm
is
getting
and what
tired
it's
of playing
AI
Call of
upscaling
Duty.
to. But to be honest, what I can tell you is when I'm sitting there playing it docked on my TV, it looks phenomenal. And I play in performance mode just to get the extra 10 frames, and I still think it looks insane. It does not feel like something that should be running portably, that should be able to play like this. This Cyberpunk port is so exciting for so many reasons, because not only is it showing off what this console can do, but the possibilities for future ports and games. I will wait to give my future thoughts on the game until I've played more of it, but I have been very impressed with everything they've done for Switch 2. And that's it. That's every single Nintendo Switch 2 launch game, at least the physical ones. There's actually probably another 10 or so that are digital eShop only. And if you don't know me, I have a series on this channel where I review eShop games. I am so excited to make my first eShop games worth buying for Nintendo Switch 2 video, and that's where I'll talk about all of those games. So if you want to see that, you got to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. I never talk about the bell. There's a bell, you know, I think that still helps. Let me know what you've been playing, what your favorite Switch 2 port is.
You got to
so
talk about the
and
bell.
why.
Fuck
Remember,
the
if you're
bell.
going to check out any of the games today, there's a link in the description to Yakuza. That'd be a great one to check out, either on the eShop or you could buy it physically, but you know. And I'll see you in the next video, hopefully when my eye looks better.
This game, you're not ready for it.
Fuck the bell. Yeah, I watched that yesterday. That shit looked hella good. But I need you. You know? All right, let me play Call of Duty before I have to dip up out of here. That should be the volume will be cutting in and out every time, bro. I don't know why I do that. Plug my controller up. I miss you. I'm here. Let me go. And one more time. And let me go. Internet, why don't you apply that and you come work with me? You come work with me at the X. They'll put us in different areas though, because they said that if you have family members working there with you, y'all can't work in the same area. Y'all have to work in different areas. Why? You think you'll be talking to people? You can't just go to work and not say nothing to nobody? You just no. This. Dr. Seuss. Oh, he got the suit. Oh. Oh. He in her house, huh? Oh my goodness. Oh, and that's how he got the suit.
weapons and gear. We're holding for deployment.
Muted.
All stations, green light. We're deploying to the war zone.
Did not mean to switch the song.
Resurgence. Survive and your team can redeploy.
Hit a little bit.
Set a drop point for your squad soldier.
Where we going? Oh, that's where we're going?
Enemy dropping into the AO. Your squad mate's back on station. Good work.
Break time's over.
Yeah, somebody already had they load out? Why you run? He up top, he up top. And why did this shit load?
Enemy soldier incoming.
Oh shit!
Oh Lord. I don't see how y'all fighting that little ass building, bro.
Yeah, I was scared for my life.
Too close.
Damn, that boy landed and got hit by that airstrike. That's crazy. Oh! 2 with 1. Let's go. I already got one. Yeah. That's what's in there right here.
Your squad mate is redeploying. Well done.
Yellow. Too high.
You have reinforcements
Oh,
inbound. Your squad's in the safe zone. Your squad mate is redeploying. Well done. Enemy UAV is online. Hostile UAV in the area. Enemy UAV overhead.
Hey, over there going crazy today. I'm gonna get somebody with this, bro.
You have reinforcements inbound.
Last mag. Need medical attention. Got myself up. Adding armor.
Enemy UAV is online.
Motherfucker shooting an AR at somebody that got a sniper. You ain't good, boy.
No mames, eran dos, güey. No mames, no mames. Yo, hagan some frijoles, chasing me.
Some tamales? Give me some tamales. Need chicken. They at grandma's. They at grandma's. Oh shit, bro. Another one in grandma's window. One just hopped out. Oh, they coming in there, Blue. They coming in there, Blue. Regroup and get back out there. What? You talking smack? Mm-hmm.
What? Is this bulletproof? Yeah.
What?
Did that hurt? Does that hurt? No. Does that hurt? No. Alright. Chill! I'm spinning inside! Ah! Be quiet! They're putting him in screen right there.
Enemies are dropping into the area. Watch the sky.
All right, boss. Will it be normal? I don't know yet. And how are we gonna do that? What car? Oh, about that. Let me make a phone call really fast. Bring the RV in, please. There it is. Someone with me? Yep, that was me. That's the RV. Yes, it is. Looks good, not gonna lie. I know, right? All right, and time.
You'll turn that off.
Thank you. We got the RV now. Check it out.
Had to mute him. Crazy. How long is it gonna take me to get there? Where's my map? Where's my map? Chat, do y'all prefer Apple Maps over Google Maps or Google Maps over Apple Maps? I hit the wall. See? Should have went to the blue spot.
Hostile UAV in the area. Adding armor. Enemy UAV is online.
They ain't gonna do nothing with it.
Squad mates back on station. Good work.
He up there.
Vulnerable buy station marked. Head to the buy station before time runs out to get a discounted item.
I'll take that and the shotgun.
Enemy UAV overhead.
better be lucky you was holding his hand, boy. Oh, Antoinette. She don't like when I flick that tongue out of chat.
Station vulnerability closed. Contract failed.
Why y'all got a double team, bro? Y'all that weak, bro? Hey, that weak, chat.
You're in the top 10. Keep knocking them down. We've got 10 squads active in the field. Redeployed and ready for business. You're getting another chance.
Green is loadout. Nope.
Your squad mate is redeployed. Well done.
Look at y'all got a double team. Y'all ass, bro. I'm by myself trying to do a one-on-one. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Scary ass, boy. Oh. Bruh, he cold, bruh. He just sniped me out the air like that. That's cold.
Stand by for redeployment.
I didn't ask for that.
Your squad mate went AWOL. Resurgence timer reduced.
See, that's what you get for chasing after me. That's what the fuck you get, boy.
Enemies are dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
Wow. How did I break my legs?
I got you, dog. I got you. Oh, nice. You ain't going nowhere.
Remaining operators from that squad. Hunt them down.
Who shot you? Who shot you?
Enemy airstrike in the area.
From where?
Your squad is down.
Oh, it's a sniper on top of prison.
You say what?
There's a sniper on top of prison.
Oh.
What is he sniping from, bro?
Good work.
Oh, man.
Say Antoine. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh my god. He about to zip across. Yeah, he's zipping across.
Redeployed and ready for business. You're redeploying.
Me? No. Why?
Your squad mate is redeploying. Well done.
I'm 12.
Bro, watch it, bro.
Oh my god.
Oh, Lord. I got one down over there, bro. Somebody else came over here tripping.
I'm running.
Shit. Damn, that stinks.
They for the camp loadout. They
Yeah. You need me to go? Load out.
Fire sale active. Buy station prices have been reduced. Get ready. You're redeploying. You have reinforcements inbound. Resurgence is about to end. Make it count.
He's just camping in the corner.
You're the last one standing, soldier.
Oh, Lord.
Survive until your squad can redeploy. Enemy UAV overhead. Gas is moving.
Oh, we got a loadout over here too?
Yeah.
Your squad mate is redeployed. Well done.
Oh shit. He coming down the stairs. He coming down the stairs. Shoot, 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 shoot.
Some random that I found.
It's a whole team upstairs.
Yeah. Oh my god. I ain't even got plates.
He can't go through that door. He's trapped.
Yeah, I don't have plates. I'm just running for now till y'all are back. Or till one of y'all are back.
Oh, he's still there. Green, is you safe?
Supply crates have been restocked. Load up.
I ain't. Goddamn. I'm getting chased. I'll cover your back. They down there. They got another one down there on the stairs. Where? Over there.
Get to the safe zone. You've got gas moving in.
Oh, boy. Better go get in a circle. Try to buy green.
I hear one.
A dip, bro.
Me? Nah.
Switching mags. 16 rounds. Out.
In there.
Yo.
Squad to the safe zone. Leave no one behind. You're in the top 3. Don't let up now.
Ah.
3 squads left in the war zone. Stay
I want you to.
Fire solution was bad. Miss.
They're not on you, huh?
Nah.
Okay. Nice. We can just stay here for now. On the roof, on the roof. I think yeah, he's in the building.
You're in the last 2.
They
You on
better
the
try to
roof?
come in.
Dead. That's a whole team, I think. To the right. Yeah, they gotta rotate though. We could just hold them.
Last one down the bottom. Oh, nice. GG.
Yep.
Second game, first dub. Nice, nice. Okay.
Yeah. I'm about to go play with my cousin though, so I can play another.
Do your thing, bruh. Thanks for the GGs. Hold on, chat. All right, it's gonna be my last game, and then I got a dip chat. Oh. Yeah, right. Dip chat. Oh. Bro. Hold on. Prestige. Damn, they commando already, bruh? That's crazy. Did that help? $332. Is that keyboard and mouse? I want to know why do this keep changing? Allow application to exclusively control device. Maybe I need to turn that off.
Rucker, you're headed to the war zone.
Fish out of water.
Loaded fresh mag. Prep time's over. Now you deploy to the war zone.
And now I got it. That's crazy.
Enemy dropping into the AO.
And I wish you were here. You know.
Resurgence. Survive to redeploy forward teammate. Kill to bring them back.
They said you could get with this or you could get with that. Control, control, control. Bet. Somebody else hating, bruh. Whoa. Well, that was the quickest match I ever been in. I was like, Jesus. Bruh, why? Why? Don't change anything.
Check your gear and weapons.
What?
We'll be deploying shortly. Playtime's over. Stand by for deployment to the war zone.
Cuento
Enemies are
con
dropping
metada
into the
sub
area.
de 10
Watch the
volts
skies.
200.
What you hollering over there? We all can't go to the tower.
Adding armor.
I knew I heard somebody else here, bruh. And then I saw. Bullshit, bruh. Green, they just played you. Oh, good thing I landed up here. I got you, bruh. Oh, pick him up. Terminator. I'll be back. Oh, they got loadout.
Enemy soldier incoming.
Authorizing LDBR strike on my grid.
Squad mate avenged. Timer reduced. Well done. Your squad made it to the safe zone. Gas is inbound. You have reinforcements inbound.
He dipped.
Hostile UAV in the area.
Felt like that boy said Raising Cane. Hey, hop up there, huh?
Enemy UAV overhead. You've got a loadout drop inbound.
Oh, somebody loadout just landed in the water, bro. That's crazy.
Weapon over here.
Damn, he disconnected. What about the function? Me. Easily. Keep hearing shit over there, bro. Yeah, I know there's somebody in there. There's people under us too. We gotta watch out for them. Nice. Where the fuck he go?
Weapon over here.
Changing maps.
You do my love. If it's true, my love. Let's go over here. They on the roof.
Buy station prices are adjusted.
Just hop down, coming by you, yellow. Front door. Fucking. If that bouncing Betty didn't hit me, bro. All right, chat. I gotta get ready for work. I'll holler at y'all later. We got one dub. That was cool.